Right. Now we understand the system development life cycle, where we end up making a decision on whether to go for a commercial package or whether to make our own package. So after deciding on whether to go for a commercial package or whether to make our own package, we have to decide on how to implement. So that is why we have this question. Discuss any four approaches to systems changeover. Briefly outline the advantages and disadvantages. So system changeover is the process of putting new information system online and retiring the old system. For instance, changing from a manual system to a computerized system. So we are saying you've been using the old system, now you want to put in a new system. So how do you go about it? What are the approaches that you can use to do that? The first approach is what we call the code techie or the direct changeover, whereby you totally disregard the old system and you overwrite it with the new system, which means if you have trade receivables in the old system of 20,000, you totally disregard all that. And in the new system, your trade receivables will start at zero. So which means everything that was in the old system is going to be overtaken by everything that is within the new system. So what are the advantages of a code taking? It is less expensive and it is an easier method to use since one system will be in use, and there is always a short conversion time from going from the old system going into the new system. In the new system and the old system, they need not to share anything. They do not interface. What is in the old system remains in the old system. What is in the new system remains in the new system. But the only difference now is you will be using the old. That you'll be using the new system only. What are the disadvantages? You are going to lose out on a whole lot of information that is within the new system, since you are not going to use the old system as a backup. Then, in circumstances where the new system does not work at all, which means you're going to have disruptions of information. Some information is going to be lagging, so between the old system and the new system. Changeover number 2, the parallel operation. The parallel operation is whereby you're going to use the old system and the new system working hand in hand. What you do in the old system, you also do in the new system, as the word parallel suggests. What are the advantages? There is low risk of loss of information, since the update in the old system is also an update in the new system. Then it also gives that room for reversing errors. If you have an error in the old system, you can go to the new system and check what the error is and correct it. If you have an error in the new system, you can go and do vice versa. What are the major disadvantages? It is always tiresome to run two systems at the same time, right? Because you're going to double the consumption of your resources, which means there are going to be delays and there are going to be room for more errors. Why? Because the employees will know that they will still go and refer to another system to verify the error. Number 3, the pilot operation. The pilot operation mainly is whereby we identify a location, a department, or a division within the organization that we're going to call a pilot site, that we're going to test out our new system. But within this pilot site, we are going to decide whether we're going to do a code turnover or we're going to do a parallel system. So that's the major. But the major thing is we're going to use the pilot to cater for this. The major advantage is if a problem is encountered in the pilot site, it cannot be transferred to other sites. That's the biggest advantage. So which means we can deal with the problem in that pilot site, then we can sort the problem. Then if we need to implement the whole system in the overall organization or wherever we want to implement, we can go after rectifying the problem in the pilot site. What are the major disadvantages? If the system is being implemented in one site, it does not guarantee that it is going to be successful in the other site. That is the major disadvantage. Number 4, lastly, we have what we call the phase-in operation. The phase-in operation, whereby we are going to implement the system in phases. For example, when you're implementing stage evolution, you can implement the data, then you wait, you assess, then you implement the trade payables, right? Then you implement the other modules as they follow. So we can do the same, either in the pilot site, either in the main site, either using a code taggy, direct changeover, or using a parallel changeover. So we are going to do it in phases. Advantage number 1, by phasing the new system modules, the risk of a system failure is reduced as the risk of errors or failures is limited to the implemented module only. That is the major advantage. The errors can be rectified in that module, and they can be looked into in that module, and they can be we can now go on to implement other modules if we so wish to. Disadvantage, it can create incompatibilities. What we are saying there is we can implement the first module, but when it comes to implementing the second module, right, they might not be compatible. Maybe the interface is wrong, maybe the boundaries are impermeable, and so forth and so forth. Right, that is it with how to implement the system. But after implementation, we have what we call a review, the post-implementation review. Why do we need to have a post-implementation review? Number 1, so that we can improve the system, right? We have implemented the system, we review the system. So for improvement, we need to review the system. Next one, so that we know that the system is achieving what we intended, what we got it for. What is the cost benefit analysis, right? So are we getting the benefit from the system? Yes. Where do we get that information? From the post-implementation review. So as to next one, so as to increase the efficiency of the system by correcting any errors. By implementation review, you are going to identify errors within the system. So you improve the errors, or you correct the errors, which means you are going to improve on efficiency. To measure the system's performance again is when you have reviewed the post-implementation review. Next one, if it was an in-house package, you need to review it so that you know when to add anything new within the package. We are not worried about the commercial packages. Why? Because we say commercial package would have been tested in all environments in most organizations. So which means they can cater for most problems that we would have that we can encounter. So what are we going to do in the in-house package? We have to see what are the errors. We have to sit down with the auditors, the accountants, the IT guys, and to see how we are going to improve the package. We need also to be knowledgeable about the new system for the review purpose, so that we can motivate our employees that way, part and parcel of the design team, to show that we understand them and to show that we know that they worked hard and the system is working and it's achieving its organizational goals. Right. Lastly, system designers in analysis strive to produce a system that is on time, on budget, and meet user needs. But it is always not possible. Why? Because we are saying the environment is always changing. If we are late with the system, the environment would have changed. So all systems that need to fly should always fly within a space of 3 months. So the implementation review, the post-implementation review, can assist us to know whether our system is going to be satisfy part and parcel of a good system, right? Whether it's going to adopt to any technological changes, whether futuristic or current. Thank you for listening.